Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good to see you. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. It's been like we I think our last show was the 20th, 22nd, 20th.
Somewhere in there. Sunday, so the 22nd.
22nd.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
How about that?
So AJ McCarron will join. Oh, we got some. Got a new sponsor to tell you about.
We got a little sponsor alert coming up today.
We'll get to all that here in a moment. So you guys are going to talk some football. I'm going to listen. I have not seen much football. I will freely admit that this past weekend I pretty much shifted to full NBA gear mode, I should say, when I got back from Jacksonville on Friday, covered the Gator Bowl on Thursday night. Got back from it was scintillating. I got back from there. I took a long nap on Friday afternoon, and starting Friday night, there was a lot of NFL. Not a lot of NFL. There was no NFL. There was a lot of NBA in my world for about 3 days. It was nice. My boys are playing elite basketball right now. We're locked in.
See, I would like to be. This is the part of the show where you go, Tyler. You know what? You were right. This is the part where you say that. Tyler, you were right.
You probably were right. I wouldn't be able to give it up.
You said that I'm done. After Chet got hurt, the day after Chet got hurt, you're like, I'm never watching another game. I'm not watching the Thunder play. They're not going to win. They're terrible. They suck. I'm not watching. And it lasted about a week. About a week.
Yeah, it took me a week to get over.
You've gone from not ever
injury.
Watching them ever again to you're watching every second.
Oh, I'm watching every second of the Thunder. I'm watching a lot of the other teams too. I watched Lakers, Rockets.
So you're all back.
I watched Lakers. Oh yeah, I'm back in full NBA mode. I watched Magic Jazz some yesterday. That's how I knew. I was like, "Ooh, I got it." Your boy has a problem when you're watching the Orlando Magic and the Utah Jazz. But yesterday was not the day to sit and gorge the NFL. That was a pretty light slate.
Do you know I have watched, and again, not completely focused, but I have had the TV on this was my goal this year. I had the TV on every single NFL game of the year, minus there was 2 Monday night games when I went to go speak in Gulf Shores. And I missed the first half of that double Monday night game. That's the only games I missed in the NFL all year long.
Wow.
That's a lot of ball games.
That's a lot of football.
That's a lot of football. It's probably why I did better betting the NFL this year. So it is what it is. But we're back.
Could be. All right, we'll get rolling. We'll get AJ here in a minute and go from there.
Got some ad reads today, baby.
Welcome into episode 249 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Monday, January the 6th, 2025, our first episode of 2025. Hope all of you had a fantastic holiday season, a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and all of those things. We'll be back with you today and tomorrow. No Thursday show this week. Tyler will be on the road. And then we'll be back next Thursday. So we'll have Monday and Tuesday of this week, Thursday of next week, and then we'll get back into some
semblance
of regular normalcy after that.
Yeah, I got to travel. I'm going to speak this week, and then going to the convention latter part of the weekend and early part of next week.
We're brought to you by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Scoops, I am rocking the strawberry apricot today. How about that little strawberry apricot today? It's a very good drink. It's very refreshing. I've only had this a few times. It's delicious. It's actually really good. Neal, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping. And right now at Cooper Chevrolet Buick GMC Hyundai, just announced they have current Chevy owners and leasees can take an extra $6,250 off the brand new, the Chevy 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab. That's $6,250 of total cash allowance off the Chevy Silverado. Give our good friends at Cooper Chevrolet a call at area code 256-236-4481. Scoops were also brought to you, as always, back again in the year 2025 about our good friends at PTG Outdoors. They are a Camus boats dealer. They have both fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards. They do custom marine electronic installations with Garmin, Humminbird, and Lowrance products. You can get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where they replace all of the batteries with a single lithium battery. Located right there in Grenada, Mississippi. Make sure you go to the online store at ptgoutdoors.com. That's ptgoutdoors.com or call 662-459-9311.
It's a Mac 10 Monday, which
hang
means...
on. Before I got one more. We got a big one right here, AJ. Before you go, can we get a little? Whoop, whoop? Can we get a little? Whoop, whoop? New sponsor announcement. And this is also no coincidence that Talladega, the punishment's coming up. We'll have some fun stuff. We'll have some fun stuff around it. Like to announce the official RV dealer of the McCready and Siskey show is County Line Campers. County Line Campers, let's go. It's a new year, and now it's time for a new RV. Check out our selection of new and pre-loved motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers at County Line Campers in Gulfport, Mississippi. The official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey. You can save up to 48% on remaining new 2024 models, including new RVs for under $199 a month. That's a deal. I might have to give you one. Do you need your camper serviced? Ask us about our Happy Camper Club to receive discounts on all of your maintenance needs. You can visit countylinecampers.com to see all of our deals, and for a limited time, receive a free backup camera with any RV purchase. I'd have to get the backup camera. I'd be done. They're open 7 days a week. That's right, 7 days a week, right off I-10, exit 38 in Gulfport, Mississippi, to meet your needs. Stay making memories with your family today. When you think of camping, think County Line Campers. And make sure to follow County Line Campers on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. They got all kinds of good stuff there. Their accounts are very fun to watch. I've actually watched a bunch of them. I went through a TikTok thing the other day and just was looking at all the new campers on TikTok. They got a fun watch. Let's go, County Line Campers in the house. AJ, how we doing today, sir?
Doing good.
Doing good. Let's go.
Welcoming AJ into the show.
How was that green room treating you today?
Oh, it was great. Just getting this. I got my live feed going as well. So I'm trying.
Was Skip Bayless in the green room today?
Skip Bayless wasn't in the green room with you today, was he?
No, him, Joy, they were all out today.
Yeah, there's part of that Skip Bayless story that I'm like, I don't buy it.
They said something's going on. I don't know what's happening.
I woke up to that this morning and I was like, whoa.
Hey, come on. $1.5 million.
Yeah, it's
come on.
Yeah, that's actually a little
no.
Come on, Skip.
Come on. Well, no, come on. I'm not defending Skip here because he might be the worst guy in the world, but I don't buy that.
That does seem a little steep.
1.5
for a hairdresser
for 10 minutes. I mean, that's all.
I mean, they're out in L.A., right?
Yeah, they are.
I think they're based in L.A.
I mean,
inflation and all, but still.
Inflation is a serious problem out in California, it appears.
Hey, real quick, thanks to Webb Moore for the super chat. He says, Happy New Year to both of you. I'm sure he would have wished it to AJ as well. When he sent this, AJ wasn't yet on the screen. Tyler, what is your view? And AJ, you guys can answer this together. What is your view of the SEC not being so dominant in football? What have you heard about collective bargaining? And Neal, where is Carson thinking about college? If you can discuss, he knows where he's going. I'm not going to put that on blast. I'll keep that quiet. There's no point in him having to endure any of that.
All right.
But thank you for the super chat and for the question.
View of the future of the SEC and not being so dominant in football. I think the SEC and the Big Ten will continue to separate themselves as long as we keep doing this thing because they have the most money in rev share. They will be able to fully fund and they will put money on top. So there will be separation. It may not be just the SEC, but it's going to be the SEC and the Big Ten. As far as not being dominant in football, this has been going on since the portal. This has been coming. We've talked about on this show for 249 episodes. When you lose depth, you can't stack depth like you used to. So what do you have to do? You have to buy it. And so teams that are spending more money on depth or making playoffs or making runs at it, but that's the biggest difference.
Well, and more guys are asking to get guarantees of starting spots.
Yeah, this stuff has gotten it's really. We're going to talk a little bit about the portal stuff in a minute, but it's gotten like it's jumped the shark on that.
I mean, it's really free agency, and it's become more free agency. Like AJ, for example, when you were playing, you didn't, as a free agent, I'm guessing, and your contemporaries didn't say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go visit Cleveland, and I'm going to visit Indianapolis, and I'm just going to, I'm going to go to the one that feels the best, that's the best environment, and then I'll go compete for a job and see where it falls. No, you're going in and you're saying, what is my role? Am I coming in as the starter? Am I coming in as the backup with a chance to be the starter? Am I coming in as the fourth receiver, the third receiver? No, I'm the one receiver. You're going to pay me for that. I mean, it's all of those things. And that's bled into the college game now where guys are coming in and they're not the sales pitch of, hey, come here, we'll pay you whatever, and you can compete for a job. You're not going to win if the other school says, come here, we'll pay you that same amount, and it is your job. And you're just not. It is what these are. And everybody has a very high price tag. I know you're going to talk about that in a minute. Everybody has a high price tag right now because unlike just 1 year ago when there weren't as many agents involved, now you have agents involved. And so I'm going to get a better deal for myself if I have a good agent negotiating my deal as opposed to me going in and negotiating my own deal because I don't really, especially as a 20, 21-year-old kid, I don't know what I'm doing. Now I have an agent, and a lot of these agents are better than people are giving them credit for, and they're going in and they're holding feet to the fire, and they're getting closer to what they want, and then they're getting an offer, and they're shopping that offer.
Correct. One thing before AJ, I want him to get his thoughts on this too. I'm going to hit you with two of them while you're thinking about that one. The other thing that's different between the role question that you were talking about in the NFL and college is in the NFL, okay, let's say AJ early in his career, somebody says, hey, you can come here and be a starter. You can come here and be a backup. Early in his career, he may be more looking for a fit and he could continue to develop as a quarterback. But later in his career, if he went today, he doesn't want to go sit. He would want to go play because his time's running out. Well, in college, you got five. You're supposed to only have 5 years to play for. So if a guy's year 2 or year 3 of his system, he's not looking to be a backup. He wants to go play now. Like it's the career window allegedly. I'm going to hit that with quotations. The career window allegedly in college is shorter than it is in the NFL.
Well, I mean, the biggest issue to me is I think kids, and it happens with all young kids, right? We tell our kids, hey, I'll give you $2 to go take out all the trash, vacuum the floors. Like they'll do all that work for the $2 because they just have no clue. Like all they care about is the money. In another, mindset form of it is all the kids care about is the money. Like they're not really looking to go a place that best benefits them from a developing standpoint. They just want to get on the field, make as much money as they can. They don't care if they play like shit or what. They just want to go to whatever school offers them the most money. So like there's no incentive on, hey, let me go somewhere that's going to develop me to be the best player at my position that I possibly can be. And then it betters my career in the long run to make the most amount of money I possibly can when I get to the next level. There's none of that. There's none of that mindset in college football anymore. So it's really just, hey, who's offering the most money? I could care less if they suck. I could care less if the coaches suck. If I'm going to get any better or not, I'm just going to go to whoever offers the most money. And I think that's a bad look for the kids and for college football as a whole.
Agree. All right. Since we're talking about, we're going to talk about some more poor stuff in just a second. All right. College football playoff, where we kind of sit right now. coming up this weekend, Thursday and Friday night. Notre Dame is -2 versus Penn State in the Orange Bowl. Ohio State -6 versus Texas in the Cotton Bowl. AJ, while we got you on here, I haven't talked about tomorrow yet. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but I want to talk about these games. We got plenty to talk about tomorrow. Notre Dame and Penn State. I think this game is, Notre Dame is favored by 2. I actually like Notre Dame probably in this game over Penn State. I think the line is about right, probably a field goal game, and I think it'll be a tight game. Even if Penn State wins, it'll be a close one. I think you're going to see a matchup of, both teams are going to have to try to establish the run. I think Notre Dame probably has a better chance of doing that against Penn State's defense than the other way around. I do not, but I also think Penn State, if Penn State to win this game, if they can find a way to get the running game going enough to where they can get the play action game going off of it and get explosive plays in the passing game, that's kind of their path. I just think, and if they play 10 times, I think Notre Dame probably wins 7 of them. I just think they're a slightly better team in the matchup in this one. What do you think on this one, AJ?
Yeah, I agree with you. Who can get the running game established the most? But it's also who has the higher chance of creating more explosive plays in the passing game, and I think that favors Penn State.
Agree.
Notre Dame's passing game has looked rough, man.
Bad.
Bad. And I love Riley Leonard's local boy, like.
Fair hopes.
Fair hope. They have, lack of timing in the passing game. I don't know the concepts, if they're just good. I have no clue. Haven't been able to watch them enough to really kind of understand, but I just know the few times I've watched them, like the passing game has looked awful. And when they've tried to get something going and when they've been able to move the ball is really only when Riley Leonard's run game gets established. Other than that, like they haven't moved the ball great until he starts running the football.
They don't play from behind very well at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. If Penn State can create some explosive plays in the pass game, play well enough on defense just to maintain for at least the first half, and eliminate, because Georgia had them, and Georgia has the awful turnover, which I don't know why. That's just not a Kirby thing. It seemed like he was pressing. I don't know why you make that call to go 80 yards before halftime with 50-something seconds. Like
pressing. If
you're Mike Bobo, that confuses the hell out of me, because if I'm the OC, there's only 2 plays I'm calling right there. It's either I'd say 3: halfback screen, tight end screen, or receiver screen, or draw. So possibly 4. That's the only thing I'm calling. I'm not calling any downfield stuff. So Georgia had them where they wanted, because Notre Dame was struggling before that on offense. Bad.
Struggled the whole game.
Especially. And then they opened up the second half with the kickoff return, kind of just blew the game open there. You could feel the win come out of the cells of Georgia. So I like Penn State, I think, a little bit more, just because I think their passing game is a little more explosive. And so I'm kind of hoping Drew and those guys get the passing game going.
Yeah,
but I'd like to see Notre Dame play Ohio State more than I would watching Ohio State play Penn State again.
Yeah. I want to say this too. The poor kid. I want to say that because nobody's taking up for this poor kid. This kid at Georgia, the walk-on who got the 15-yard penalty.
Parker Jones.
Parker Jones. I feel terrible for the kid for 2. One is like this kid. That's what he's going to be known for forever. He's like the guy that Chicago. What's the guy's name? You probably still know the guy.
Yeah. Steve
Bartman. He's going to be known. And look, was he in the white? Yes, he had 1 foot in the white. Okay. And if you've coached football, or hell, if you've been a player, you understand how the white works. Okay. The officials really stay at the beginning of the grass in the white. They kind of stay way up front. And it's almost like an understanding that you got that half is the officials and this half of the white is the coaches and the players. Like, dude, he had 1 foot in the white and the official was running down the damn sideline. Like, that wasn't on the official. That wasn't on the kid.
Well, that's a shit call.
And it's a shit call. Like, he ran into him. I mean, yes, by the letter of the law was the kid in the white. Yes, he had 1 foot in the white. Now, his whole body wasn't even in the white.
That official didn't have to drop that flag.
He shouldn't have been deep to begin with.
But even if
then he faked his fucking facial expression, like he just tore his hamstring, like as he's running. I'm like, dude, get out of here! Like, what are you doing? I mean, and it sucks because, like you said, that kid's gonna get shit for the rest of his life, probably. I mean, he's gonna have to go into protective custody, like, because witness protection. I mean, there's no way, that poor kid will be able to walk around Georgia anymore. But they didn't lose that game because of that kid. It just sucks.
Sucks for the kid. I'm not saying in any way that had any. I mean, yes, it may have, but that's not the reason they lost the game.
The ref just should have kept
But the
going.
ref should have just freaking
kept going. Look at him. Do that deal of, hey, you guys tell the backup guy to do your job a little better. Back everybody up. And then keep on rolling. There's no reason to drop a flag right there.
And
give them a warning. Worst case scenario.
The other thing that bothers me, is this kid was like 4 inches into the white. His whole foot wasn't even in the white, and it was bad on the official. So.
Yeah, it's not like he was out on the field tripping a player for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He didn't impact the play at all. That did not impact the play at all. That's what bothered me about it, it didn't have any impact at all on the play. So, again, go tell Kirby, hey, tell your get-back guy to do a better job. If you have to, here's a sideline warning. Do the little sideline warning. First offense on Georgia. Carry on. I don't even think you had to do that. I think you literally could have yelled at the Georgia bench going, get back, damn it.
That's what good officials do.
And then somebody would have gone, the get-back guy would have gone down the sideline and done the thing that everybody does of get back, and then we just carry on.
I can't tell you how many times in a game that somebody has gone, an official's has gone to the head coach and said, hey, you need to get your guys back. I'm over here running into the guys. I'm going to throw the flag the next time, and he'll raise hell and get the fuck back.
And then he yells at the get-back guy to tell the guys to get back, and then everybody's getting back, and then it goes.
I mean, how many times at Alabama did Coach Saban lose his mind when we had the because, the SEC has a dress rule, like you can only dress so many people only could dress so many people for a home game, and then when you could dress for the other games, you could dress 105 or whatever rule used to be. In the non-conference games, he would lose his mind because there'd be too many people on the sideline, and they'd be up. That happens all the time. So, all right, Ohio State 6-point favorite at the Cotton Bowl versus Texas. So, I got a couple things on this. One, if Ohio State shows up and plays, everybody's playing for second anyway. If you got a heartbeat and 2 eyes, you can see that. Texas playing at the Cotton Bowl. These bowl games, particularly the playoff games that are on the in the bowl game sites, have become very corporate. Okay, like when you listen to big moments in games, the crowd's not really into it. It's just become so corporate. With that being said, it's going to be at the Cotton Bowl. So who's getting the corporate tickets from these corporations around Dallas? It's going to be Texas fans. So I expect it to be a home field advantage, true home field advantage for Texas. So I think that gives them a little bump. But if Ohio State shows up and plays, I mean, 4 is a freak. He is. You and I talked about it a couple days ago. AJ, 4 reminds me of Julio Jones, and like the good Julio Jones when he slimmed down, not the young Julio that was too big. I mean, this guy's a freak of freaks, man. I mean, he is a once in a generation receiver. I mean, he is. I think he's as good as Marvin Harrison is right now, and he's got 2 more years of development. I mean, I think this guy's on a different level of player at that position than I may have ever seen. I mean, he may be the best wide receiver prospect I have seen since I've been coaching football. I mean, he's that, and I coach position. He's a freak of freaks. And that's what's scary is he's getting better. You can see him improving, which you're like, how in the hell do you improve? Like his route running is so much more smoother. His understanding of spacing his understanding of releases and understanding of how to defeat coverages. Like, he doesn't have to learn how to do that. And I hats off to Brian Hartline and those guys, because that's what makes him so special, is he's that gifted, and you can continue to see him improve and not just rely on his talent and go be better than everybody else. So he's a freak of freaks. And like I said, if Ohio State shows up like they've shown up the last 2 weeks, everybody else is playing for second. I think this is the two best teams left in the playoff, or in these two teams. I think this is the pseudo championship game. I think either the winner of this game wins it. Ohio State's favored by 6. Texas, in order for Texas to win this game, it's very simple for me. They have to establish a running game.
By the way, this is one of those. Smith is an example of a kid that, this is a very unpopular take, he should be able to go pro.
He could.
Like, there's no.
If he came out this year, he'd be the first pick.
He'd be the first pick. So
I'm taking him above Travis Hunter all day, every day.
Oh, and I think who has the first pick? New England, Tennessee. I think Tennessee would take him number 1. I mean, that's if we're gonna go pro on all this, let's go pro all the way.
Well, that's what they could have done to fix this stuff a long time ago.
And that's where, if you want to go pro with this all the way, and I'm for it, if a kid says, hey, I'm ready for the NFL, go. You shouldn't have to wait 3 years. What's so magical about 3 years? What is so – I mean, we're completely – because now we're saying, hey, JUCO doesn't count. We're going to give you 5 years so you can play for 7 years. And then, like, if there's a pandemic or something that rolls around, you're going to get, like, 6 more years.
What if we get Canada as the 51st state?
I mean, so we can go to the CFL and play professionally and not count at all. I mean, you should be able to go, hey, I'm good. I don't need another year at Ohio State. I don't need another year in college. I'm going to the ultimate transfer portal. I'm going to be the first pick in the draft. This is like Jadeveon Clowney a few years ago. He didn't need another year at South Carolina, and he played the whole year kind of defensive, and everybody's like, oh, look. No, I'm like, do you blame him? There's no reason. We don't do this with NBA. This is stupid.
This thing could have been, all kidding aside, when I've said
and
this
I know
for
it's
100
an
years.
NFL rule, but the NFL would change the rule in a heartbeat. I mean,
For him, well, that's the thing, is
Just
there's not that many that would do it.
yeah, I mean, and there would be some kids that would make bad decisions, but guess what? Those kids are going to make bad decisions anyway.
But kids like this don't have bad people around them.
Right.
If you're that good, the Clownies, this kid, you don't have bad people around you.
There should be some sort of a process where you can go in if you haven't been 3 years out, and there's an NFL committee that goes, yes, you would be a first-round pick. You should be able to go.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Oh, no. I think
100%.
there's just so few that could do it, so it really wouldn't matter. But this could.
But hell, everything's already a 1-year contract anyway. So why are you making them? Why are you making them stay 3 years?
I hate it. I think if you want to declare for the NFL out of high school, you should be able to. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
It's on you.
But I mean, if they're not taking 18-year-old kids, but this kid would. There's no reason for this kid to have to go back to Ohio State and play another season of college football. It's dumb.
Yeah, and the Cooper Show Jeff Tatum said the same with Will Anderson. See, I disagree. I think Will needed a year or two. Like, I don't think, there's just so few that can go do it that quick. But, all right, Ohio State, Texas, back to that. I just think Texas has to establish a running game to have a chance. I think Quinn Ewers is playing well right now. The only thing that Quinn's doing that I wish that I could get in his head, that I could just have 5 minutes of endo with him that he'll never change. He doesn't. AJ will know where I'm going with this. Used to drive me nuts. Don't throw the 3 ball all the time. I mean, rip the 1, rip the 2. He's got the arm talent, so it's not like he doesn't have it.
What's the 3 ball?
So he throws touch passes. He throws like long, like in the backyard. He throws it really high, really looping balls. So you got one ball straight to you, 2 balls, a layered throw, 3s to lay it up and let him run under it, touch throw. He gets himself, like, you hear the announcers who don't know anything about football. This is how you know. Every time an announcer goes, oh, look at Quinn, he threw it in a double coverage. No, he didn't. He didn't throw it in double coverage. It wasn't in double coverage when he let it go. He's throwing the damn ball so high and throwing underneath people so much that corners and safeties are falling off of their coverage, running up underneath it. And they're like, oh, he threw it in a triple coverage. No, he really didn't. He was open when he let it go. He just threw it so damn high that the corner, maybe say if the corner was in quarters or 3 or whatever, he'll layer back over and get up on top of the post or whatever it is, and it appears that he's doing that when he's really not. If he would rip the damn ball, holy shit! Like because he's got massive. Like I don't think people, AJ does obviously. I don't think people understand the amount of arm talent it takes to complete passes, like the way he throws the ball. He's almost like Danny. Do you remember Danny Werfel when he was at Florida?
Yeah.
He used to do this shit all the time. He would I know AJ, that's way before AJ's time. He would let the corner loose before the dude was even out of his break and let the guy run up underneath it. Like back then, it was a lot different coverages and everything else. But it's going to take a running game from him, a running game on Texas, so he doesn't have to throw the ball every down.
I just think Texas got to play 60 minutes. I ain't seen them play a 60-minute game yet. They're either good in the first half, awful in the second half. They're either awful in the first half and good in the second half. Like, I don't know what Texas team's going to show up. I don't know if they'll be able to play a full 60-minute game.
They got fortunate against Arizona State. They were really fortunate at the end of that game.
Yeah, I mean,
but they're beating the shit out of them, and it's not even close. And then all of a sudden, they just stop. They don't have a killer instinct, Scoops. They do not finish games. I mean, they're just so relaxed, lackadaisical, and that might not be the case. It just looks that way watching them play, and they don't know how to step on somebody's throat and just finish them.
No, they let Arizona State up off the mat and damn near paid for it.
Yeah.
And here's the
4th and 13. I mean, they don't convert a 4th and 13. It's night. And
my boy's eyes was in the right place. You know what we had right there? We had a class eye violation.
But the safety and the corner, awful.
We had some eye violations. What did Coach Saban used to say? He said, he goes, when you're watching he goes, if you watch the damn quarterback, you know what you're going to be doing? You're going to be watching him throw that bitch over your head.
Yeah, they
something like that.
Yeah, they brought pressure on that play and it didn't get home.
Yeah, and then everybody's upset about the targeting and all that stuff. I've turned the page on targeting, by the way. I don't.
Targeting already in college is the stupidest shit in the world. I hate the rule. The fact you make these kids sit out, give them to where it's just like the NFL. You have 2, and then after 2, like then we reprimand you. Like, but it's stupid as shit.
They want to stop some of this bullshit. You know what they can do? They're getting paid now, right? Find their ass.
Find them.
Yeah.
Go find their ass. But we can't do that. We can't do that.
Well, you can't do that because that's acknowledging.
It's acknowledging they're getting paid to play?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm with you. I'm just saying.
We care more about their education here, okay?
Yeah.
Scoops.
Yeah.
I'm not a New Year's resolution person, but like if I had one, it was going to be to try not to be. People tell me I'm being negative, and I don't think I'm being negative. I think I'm just being honest. I think people are like, no. We enjoy the head being in the sand. That's college sports today. It's like, well, everyone's NIL. I'm like, they're literally calling it revenue sharing. They're literally admitting that they're sharing revenue. So that's not NIL. So, yeah, you could fine. I don't know what the fine structure would be, but to do that, you have to collectively bargain. To collectively bargain, you've got to have a collective union. We're nowhere close to any of that. So instead, you have this deal where everybody has the debate. And I get where everybody's coming from on it. Like, the way the rules been enforced all year, it looked like targeting, but I was kind of, I don't know. I was kind of glad they didn't call it, to be honest. I'm like,
they don't need to take a kid. Also, I think they're not calling I don't know if there's been a targeting call in the playoffs just yet. I think there's been one because
the rule's so stupid. You're taking a kid off a field for a half. You're impacting the game.
Yeah,
it's just
it's got to be egregious.
And look, if somebody goes launching out of the air doing whatever, sure, where it looks like you're trying to hurt somebody, that's one thing. But if it's some questionable thing, I was glad they didn't call that. Even though I understand where the letter of the law people were coming from, where they're like, well, it's been targeting all year, and suddenly it's not targeting. I'm like, you have a point.
They're very valid.
I get it.
Very valid. All right. I didn't want to skip over this. I know we were talking about the playoffs, and we're going to move on to some stuff, other stuff. But New Orleans, we haven't had a show since New Orleans. The Sugar Bowl was, just full of tragedy. Thoughts and prayers. I know on behalf of us, and I know everybody else.
Shame on the city of New Orleans. I'm sorry. I've been down in the quarter so many times. You guys have too. When I heard that story, I woke up. I never sleep on the road. I just don't sleep well. And I woke up. It was like 4 a.m. on that morning, and I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, okay, do I look at my phone? Sometimes I'll look at my phone, and that'll help me go to sleep. And sometimes I look at my phone, and I'm wide awake. Well, this was one of those days where I wished I hadn't looked at my phone, because I looked at my phone, and some of the early tweets were starting to pop. And I was like, well, I bet it wasn't too bad, because they had those big
I don't know what they're called. I know what you're talking about.
the big concrete barriers that come out of the road that stop traffic, because there's too many people on Bourbon and
Street, right.
and Canal and all of that area in the quarter. There's just too much pedestrian traffic. You don't need cars in there, even if it's cars that don't mean harm. Maybe somebody that's a little impaired or whatever. And so I thought, well, it couldn't be. And then I find out they're not up. And not only that, but you had replacements that you could have used and you didn't use them. What are you doing? And then you see the police chief's like 85 years old, and she doesn't even know what the hell she's talking about, and they're completely incompetent. It's shame on the whole damn place. It's corrupt, just absolute. I'm furious. And you look at the pictures of the young people that died, and my condolences to their families, but those thoughts and prayers and condolences, they don't provide any comfort for those people. No. They lost their young people. They lost 18-year-old, 19-year-old. There's a student from Alabama that was killed. I think there was a student from Auburn that I don't know if he was killed or hurt. I pray he was just hurt. There's a student from Ole Miss that's in critical condition, I think. I mean, as of this moment, I think he's still alive and hopefully will fully recover. There was the young girl from Gulfport, beautiful girl, 18, 19-year-old kid. I mean, her mother didn't want her to go, and she went, and it sickening. Yeah. Just sickening. And you know what? The hard part for it is that you look at it, and yes, there's evil, and you can't always prevent evil. But there was a way. There's always been there. There's always been a way to prevent someone from being able to go racing down Bourbon in a Ford F-150 at 3:00 in the morning on New Year's Day. That should have been an easy plan, Tyler and AJ, for someone in a hand-raised room in a room going, hey, we need to make sure we have the barriers up because we're going to have – what are we going to have on New Year's Day? I mean, this was predictable as hell. I'm sorry, I'm pissed off about it. This was predictable as hell. Hey, we're going to have young people. They're going to be out partying. This is New Orleans. That's the quarter. Young people are going to go. They're going to be drinking. They're going to be vaping or whatever it is. They're going to be having fun. They're going to be kids. They're going to have fake IDs. They're going to be out doing kid things. Let's protect them. Let's get them home safely to their families with hangovers. All right, let's get them home. That's predictable. This wasn't like June the 14th on a Tuesday night where you're like, well, we really didn't have any idea that this was going to. No, you knew this was going to be revelry. Be up at all
times.
But yeah, but New Year's Eve, pretty predictable.
Yeah, I mean it's
infuriating.
It's a complete shame. I really wasn't even. When I found out, same kind of deal, I found out it kind of ruined my whole day, kind of put a damper on everything.
Oh, it ruined mine, man. I couldn't.
Well, it ruined more of my day. I thought about it all the way home, too. So.
Yeah, I mean, because we've all, not that you have to be there to understand it, but we've all been down there a lot. You like when someone says the corner of Canal and Bourbon,
exactly. You can relate.
I'm like, oh, I know exactly. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you walk.
How?
You've been there.
My initial reaction, I mean, repetitive, was just, how?
Yeah.
How did the truck get around the things? I was like, what? So I had that I was talking to my wife that morning. I'm like, before you knew that those weren't down, I was like, how would you physically get a truck
because they were always across even the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And now they just had one police car in the middle of the road. Like they just went right around it.
And he just went around it, got up on the sidewalk, and boom, awful.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Also, thoughts and prayers to Kirby, the Smart family. Sonny Smart passed away. He had fallen at down in New Orleans, and he had surgery and passed away in surgery. I know it's tough on the family. He's been a legend. He's got a chance to meet him, when I was at Alabama. But it's tough. Just the whole damn trip for everybody was very tragic. And like I said, it sucks. I did not want to not talk about it, so I wanted to bring it up on the show.
Yeah, I got to talk to Mr. Smart, Coach Smart. I've told the story on another podcast. Back in 2011, when I was covering Ole Miss, and it was pretty obvious that Houston wasn't going to make it, and I think actually they'd already announced it, and so I was, instead of covering day in day out a 2-10 football team going nowhere, I was like, well, let's do profiles on people that are being mentioned for the job. And at the time, Kirby was the defensive coordinator at Alabama, and his name was coming up a lot in coaching circles and stuff. And I called Sonny to talk about Kirby, and he was great. I mean, what a gentleman, what a funny guy. But I've said this, it's the one thing that really I remember then was this a guy that was really proud of his son, And so just thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Smart family. I know that's remarkably difficult time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scoops were brought to you by Kia of Meridian. How about this? Got a new little reader here from Kia Meridian. This new year, make a resolution you can really keep to drive away in a brand new Kia. Kia of Meridian is kicking off 2025 with unbeatable deals that will have you starting off the year right. Get interest rates as low as 0% on select models and up to $7,500 in rebates on select vehicles. The perfect time to drive a new Kia and save big. Come see us today at Kia of Meridian. These deals won't last long, so start off your year right in a brand new Kia. Call our good friends at Kia at area code 601-483-6444. Also, big shout out, first day on the show, County Line Campers. It's a new year, and now it's time for a new RV. Check out the selection of new and pre-loved motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers at County Line Campers in Gulfport, Mississippi. The official RV dealer of the McCready and Siskey Show. Save up to 48% on remaining new 2024 models, including new RVs for under $199 a month. Do you need your camper serviced? Ask us about our Happy Camper Club to receive discounts on all of your maintenance needs. Visit countylinecampers.com. That's countylinecampers.com to see all of our deals, and a limited time receive a free backup camera with any RV purchase. They're open 7 days a week right off I-10 and exit 38 in Gulfport, Mississippi to meet your needs. Start making memories with your family today, and when you think camping, think County Line Campers. And make sure to follow them all the social media accounts, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and you can go through and check out all of their new options there at County Line Campers.
You've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce. Have you had them covered in sauce? Wendy's new saucy nugs take the crispy, spicy nugs you love, turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker, try spicy ghost pepper only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. That's 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and prepare to nug like you have never nugged before for a whole new way to nug. It's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Bollards was the word I was looking
Bollards.
for. Thank you to the people in the chat.
That's the name of the polls.
Some of the things that come up out of the ground. I could not think of that word. It's bollards. That is correct.
They also had
multiple people in the stream pointed that out.
The razor things, the full that goes across the street along with the ball. They had other things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Freaking wild.
Even if the bollards were being repaired for the Super Bowl, you could have put up different things.
Where I got infuriated, I got to move on because I'm trying not to rage today. Where I got infuriated is when they kept saying in the press conference, we were getting everything prepared for the Super Bowl. Got a lot of fucking people here for the Sugar Bowl. A lot of people here every day. Like I don't know why.
I'm sorry. Well, it's New Orleans.
Whatever.
It's
Pisses
the
me
same.
off.
It's the same.
It's just a shit show from the city officials coming out and saying, "Hey, it was a terrorist attack," and then the FBI head lady was right behind her saying this wasn't a terrorist attack, and then the FBI has to walk it back and say, "Oh, well, we found, what was it, IEDs or something like that," and
some coolers.
yeah, it's like, it's a terrorist attack. Like, how about we open up the flag on the back of the son of a bitch truck? I bet you that'll tell you what it was. Possibly.
Ain't no doubt. All right. We talked about a little bit about it earlier. The portal. All right. And the portal money. I was talking to, was telling Scoops before we started here. I had some phone calls with some coaches on the way back. What's that?
Just some of the coaches, man. It's wild.
It's wild.
Yep.
So I was talking to a buddy of mine who was an O-line coach at a Power 5 school, and he was just like, "Dude, you got to help me, man." I'm like, well, "What you need, boss? How can I help you?" He goes like, "Why is he goes, I'm in this portal. We got to replace like a gazillion O-linemen." He goes, "Every single guy I watch is averages grits." He goes, they're just okay, and some of them are even not very good. He goes, "But dude, if they started a game," he goes, "if they started a game at the Power 4 level and they're in the portal, you can go ahead and book it. They're going to start at $700,000. $700,000. And I'm sitting here.
That's starting.
It's starting. And he goes, "If they've played with any level of success, you're up from there." He goes, "So I'm going to sit here and
so when you pay the guy to come in $700,000, well, the guys that are on your roster,
there you go.
And so you have to be really careful about the timing of this. So I didn't mean to hijack your thought. This is where it's interesting. So there's a window of time that guys can get in the portal.
Yep.
Right. It closed on December 28th for everybody unless you played in a game.
And it's 5 days after your last game.
It's 5 days after that. So a lot of people are like, well, let's wait till this next window's closed. Let's wait till our 5-day window's closed. Then we'll bring guys in because this is okay. Yeah.
A lot of late movement.
Now it's going to be a lot of late movement, but all the kids are going to, the kids are going to talk, and what they're going to hear is inflated prices, but they're going to go, okay, well, wait a minute. You brought this cat in from Minnesota A&M State, and he's getting $700,000. I started 15 games in the last 2 years. I'm getting 100. No, well then, hey, I want 700, or I'm getting in the portal.
Yeah,
in April, and
and you look up and you're $7 million in your O-line payroll.
Yeah, and so you have no choice at that point but to pay your guy.
Yeah,
or you run the risk of him being disgruntled and having chemistry issues and all of those things. And then God forbid, if the kid that you bring in can't win a job or sucks, everybody else sees it and they're like, well, hold up. I'm doing it. I'm so mad at myself right now, AJ, because I keep telling myself I'm not going to do this. And I do it.
He said he's going to do it because he said he wasn't watching the NBA either. He's that last.
Hey, I'm just saying about 97% of these kids that are getting all this money, if they have the opportunity to go to the next level, they're all taking a pay cut. They're all taking a pay cut.
Hell, they ain't no doubt.
And here's the other one.
700,000. That's for an O lineman. That's more than what they're making in their rookie contract.
Here's the other one.
Rookie contract's probably about $645.
Let me tell you, this is the media nitpick this is the great one. People suddenly. I'm trying to decide how personal I want to get with this. I'm not.
Do you want to get personal? Let's go. Let's get personal.
No, I don't want to get personal. Some kid gets in the portal. I cover Ole Miss.
Let's get personal.
Some kid gets in the portal and Ole Miss makes a phone call, right? Just reaches out. The agent lets some media know that, hey, Ole Miss reached out to my client. And all of a sudden, this kid that the media has never heard of before, and they're literally yesterday, I could say, who is the running back at school X? And they'd be like, I have no idea. No clue. All of a sudden, We're doing YouTube shows going, this is an elite running back who is a game changer in the portal. This is an absolute must-get, overpay, get him. I could have said, who the hell? I could have said, hey, who's the running back at Rice? I could have asked that last Tuesday. Tell me, without looking, tell me anything about the running back at Rice. Anything. Like anything. Well, he's got 2 legs, 2 arms. Both his kidneys are functioning. That's it. They wouldn't even tell me a name, a jersey number, anything about his background. And all of a sudden, oh no, total game changer. Got to get him. You don't know who the hell he is. Why do we do this? It's so stupid.
Well, we don't. We is an all-inclusive term.
But my field does this like hyperventilating over a guy that literally a day before they had. It's not like, hey, you're covering an NFL team and all of a sudden T. Higgins is a free agent and you decide, hey, hey, my team's in on T. Higgins. Okay, I get that. Hey, T. Higgins, game changer, right? Sure. But when you're talking about some kid that is the backup outside linebacker at Kennesaw State, stop with this is going to change everything. No, it's probably not.
Yeah.
It's probably not.
Fucking market and league we're in.
Well, dude, I know of a running back, okay? I know of a running back that was making $409,000 last year.
409?
409.
Okay.
All right. That was his number. He's making 409 last year. And he's not even he wasn't even a top 6, 7 running back in the league that he was playing in.
Okay.
And he went to the portal and he went to another Power 5 school for $800,000.
I mean, good for him. Good for him.
800 on the nose.
I mean, good for the kid.
Solid player.
I would hope so.
He is a starter, no question. You would take him. He would start on most teams, okay? But he's still not an elite guy. Like, if he goes to the NFL, he'll probably be a 5 to 7. I'd probably give him a 5 to 7th round grade kind of guy.
Gonna get a camp invite.
No, he'll probably get drafted.
Yeah,
he'll probably get drafted, but he'll be a 5 to 7 round guy, running back, and
gonna be on a practice squad.
He'll figure.
Yeah.
No, but like, put it like this, like,
and he's gonna take a major pay cut.
That I've had in the league, like Snoop Connor. Is he better than Snoop Connor? No. The guy's getting $800,000 to play running back, and like, it's just it's. But to your point, the problem is going to be retention with rev share. So they're doing so for the fans that don't know. I'm sure you've talked about this. There's 2 contracts.
You have $16 million in rev share. Okay, so I'm not great at math. At ULM, they don't require math.
Oh, is that all they have?
Yeah. So hear me out, AJ.
Roughly.
I thought they were banking on 20 to 25.
Athletic department.
Yeah, that's whole department. So for football, you've got about 16, and then you might have another 5 to 7 in NIL that kind of sort of has to be justified as actual NIL, but whatever.
Yeah. We'll see that when it happens.
Screw it. Call it $22 million. Okay? Let's go with $22 million as our number. If everybody's getting $700,000, hey Siri, what is 22 million divided by 700,000? So that's 31 players. If you've got 85 on the roster, 85 minus 31 is 54. At ULM, that would get me a doctorate if I just included that. I have a master's. I'd get a doctorate for that. This doesn't work.
No.
The numbers don't check out. And that's where people like me are looking at this going, so how are you guys going to do this? What are y'all going to do? Because it's not as simple as just give everybody the money. No, it's real money, and at some point you run out of it. Like there's limits. So the way it works is if you start with 22 million and this guy makes 700,000, well, now you have 21.3 million. And if the next guy makes another 700,000, well, now you have 20.6 million. It's subtraction.
Yeah. So
if you've ever balanced your checkbook, You keep subtracting. At some point, that balance gets down to zero. And at that point, you don't have any more money to spend.
I think to your point, a few things that are happening that people are getting creative around it, right? So for those that don't know, revenue sharing is supposed to start on July 1st, okay? And so up until July 1st, they're going to be paid by the collective. So that's one way that some bigger schools, the bigger schools,
I get it.
They're trying to front load some of those guys to take some off the rev share. That's one way they're trying to do it. I'm not saying they're doing it, they're trying to do it.
Right.
Second thing is on these 3-year guys, like if they're taking a guy that they think is going to go to the NFL or a 3-year guy or a guy that's going to leave after this year, they're trying to backload some of those contracts
to save the money down the road,
to get them off the books.
Yeah.
So there's
but the agents are onto that now.
The agents are onto it.
Right.
Now, for me, okay, Scoop's made a New Year's resolution that he doesn't make, that he wants to be more positive about this. I'm going straight diabolical Joker on you. I hope, okay, for the betterment, long-term betterment of the game, for the long-term betterment of college football, I hope that somewhere in April of 2025, somebody somewhere comes up and says, "Hey, by God, this house versus the NCAA, we're not stamping this thing." And I hope it blows.
Oh, I will laugh out loud.
I hope they don't pass the rev share in April.
Because
when that happens, that happens, you would talk about the complete
chaos
and utter meltdown of college football. Because all of these contracts that these kids are leaving on right now are so rev share oriented. Like the collectives, and I've talked, an agent that I know very well, but I've talked to multiple agents, and the exact words were that all the collectives would become dissolvent. You could not, there is not a collective on the planet.
No, that would be able to fund all these promises. No,
they would all be under.
Yeah, including the ones that are being responsible.
Yeah, including
and
the
there's some that are being completely irresponsible.
There's not a single collective on the planet that could fund a team right now.
Like nobody would look at your businesses, your personal or commercial business, and if you're like, okay, well, here's what we're doing. I'm going to incur all these expenses because it's a really strong possibility that I'm going to have this windfall of money available to me on July 1st. Your accountant would say, well, hold up. Let's
make sure this is going to hit the fucking bank account first.
Yeah, why don't we wait and do these expenses? If you're right, great. When the money shows up on July 1st, well, then we'll move forward with these things because we'll be solvent.
Yeah. It's going to be.
Look, and the odds are overwhelmingly in favor of the House thing going through and everyone doing this, even if there's a lawsuit issue.
But boy, it sure would be fun.
But it would be wow.
I'm here for it. But at this point, I'm here for it.
But it's why I keep telling people when they're like, okay, well, what's going to happen is this is going to get under control. And this is going to settle it down. And this is going to let everybody I'm like, no, you're not paying attention. I get what you're saying, but you're not paying attention because there's nothing. There's no world where all of these programs stay responsible, where they like basically collude essentially and go, look, none of us are going over this. Okay, we've got to protect each other. There's too many people that are hyper competitive that are like, okay, let's just commit $3 extra million. Here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to win really big, and then we'll have that money. We'll be able to ask people for the money, and we'll get the money, and we'll figure it out. We're going to shoestring this thing out.
The thing that I'll be interested in
until you default. And then once you default, because that's what's coming. Here's the big story sometime next fall. A team is going to have multiple players or big name players. And they'll couch it with some injury or something, but he's not going to play because the check didn't make it. The money didn't hit the funds. He's not going to play. He's going to go, nope, I'm not playing. I didn't get paid. I'm not playing. That's coming, and it'll leak out. There was a big story. I can't remember who.
UNLV QB.
Yeah.
No, there was. You're talking about the.
Was it
Florida State basketball?
Well, that happened, and there was one got written in the fall. I want to say it was Michigan State. They were getting ready to play at Iowa, and the checks weren't there, and the players were talking about returning to East Lansing and not playing in the game, and they got the money on that Friday. They spent that whole Friday, the coaching staff, everybody finding the money. That day's coming, and when you start committing these big numbers,
listen, the UNLV quarterback, you're going to see more and more kids in the future do this. It's going to happen. You're going to see kids, starters, big-time players that checks aren't on time. Something in the contract wasn't something they probably knew about, agreed to on their end, signed into it bad, and they're just going to say, screw it, I'll just sit out the rest of the year. You know what? I've already played really well.
Yep.
And even though we're only halfway through the year, I got enough film to come out this year, or just hit the portal and somebody else will pay me and give me this money. So guess what? I'll see y'all later. I'm not going to play anymore for the rest of this year. Peace out. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Well, see, I think
it's coming.
No doubt. Once they get to July, though, the players that are on rev share, okay,
right.
I think they're going to be fine. They're going to get theirs.
Yeah.
The trick is going to be.
But the problem is that you this is where you get into my basic math. At some point, the prices are in the portal and stuff are going to have to come down. And this is where I don't know whether it's the agents doing it or it's the collectives refusing to do it or what it is. But so I was in Jacksonville last week, Ole Miss and Duke, and the big story around Duke is Darian Mensah.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that are pushing back on this number. Okay. I'm just telling you what conversations.
Okay.
So this isn't about who's right or wrong. Look, just follow along. Okay?
I trust my source.
I do too. But hold on. But that's not the point. So let's play with me for a minute.
Okay.
They're saying he's not getting 4 million. It's like half that. I'm like, okay. Why don't y'all say that publicly? Why not put that out publicly? If that's the case, why not put that out publicly? Because because what the college people are doing is they're like, well, all the numbers that are coming out from agents. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what people are saying.
Mine wasn't.
It's not the point. Hold on. Seriously. They're saying it's all coming from agents. And I'm like, well, I mean, you could combat that. That would not be difficult for you to combat that. And this is where I go back into one of the key elements. If you're really going to follow a professional model, is transparency. Like, AJ, when you were in a locker room in Cincinnati or Houston or wherever you were, you understood, even if you thought this rookie's not worth that much money, you understood if he got drafted in the first round, there was a spot that he slotted. And if he got drafted in the third round, there was a spot where he slotted. You might have a dispute you might think the front office was a collection of idiots for taking this guy in the second round, but it wasn't this guy's fault for getting drafted in the second round and taking the money.
Nope.
You might make him sing some song up on the stage or something, but for the most part, you're like, hey, he got it. Good for him.
Yeah.
You don't have that at the college level. You have this misinformation that's out there. There is no transparency. It's going to rock locker rooms.
Yeah.
And so
that's what I'm saying. You're gonna jealousy is going to hit the fan. It's going to cause issues in the locker room because guys think certain guys are getting paid. There's no evidence on what they're getting paid, and true where you can search it. And then it's going to cause issues. Like, imagine if your quarterback's getting paid, $10 million, okay, on a possible 1-year contract, and he goes to this new school, and his O-linemen are only making $700,000. And they're the number one team in the country, and they're just winning. And he's not taking care of these linemen. You don't think shit's going to happen? If they think he's making $10 million, he might not be making $10 million, but there's reports out there that he's making $10 million. And there's no way to prove it. There's no way. You can't go search it. So you don't think these O-linemen are going to be like, hey, because imagine, and trust me, I've been a part of this on NFL teams where a quarterback gets paid $100 million contract, okay? And it's not that hard to figure out who the hell I'm talking about. I'm just not going to mention names. And linemen were pissed that they didn't get very good Christmas presents. They got an Apple TV and Apple Watches and shit like that. Like, wait, what? What are we talking about? So, $100 million contract. So, compare that to college. Dude, you're getting paid $10 million. You're not taking care of. Like, you are going to see teams fall apart. That's why I said it's such a selfish deal where it's not a team game anymore. And to Scoop's point, I don't understand how this is sustainable in any sort of way, because what comes down? Do the players' contracts come down, or do the coaches' contracts come down? Who's going to start getting paid less? Because somebody's got to. Okay, there's no way you can sustain this amount of money.
No, and the other thing that's going to happen is, I think, if unless you get
you got coaches giving money up,
unless you get some sort of a lasso on it, it's ultimately going to lead to schools shutting down programs and kids losing opportunities and that kind of thing, where people
imagine that,
where people start going, wait, what are we doing? What? And there are a lot of people that don't care about that. There's a lot of people that they don't really care if there's a women's soccer program, if they
Olympic sports, until
you start telling the stories of those people that lose those opportunities. And so, I don't know.
So there is a group.
So to me, I'll finish my thought on this. This is one of it baffles me about it, really, is the agent in a world where, let's say, what a lot of people are saying is true, where the agents are putting out false numbers. Well, the kids are operating on those numbers because the kids are like, well, if he can get 700, I want 700. So in a world where, well, what we really gave him was 250, why would you not want that out? I would want that out. I'd want to be like, well, he didn't get 700. He didn't get anywhere close to 700. I don't know where that came from. That's some agent talking. He didn't get 700. But there is no, without the transparency, everybody in the locker room and stuff and in the market is like, well, if he got 700, I'm better than him. I want 850. And that's one of the people like, why is it taking so long for different people? A lot of it's because, well, they're shopping offers, or
big time.
They're shopping proposed offers. And again, it's some cat that you'd never heard of a week ago that has suddenly got 6 SEC or Big Ten schools competing against each other, and they are competing in the dark. I mean, you are running a race in the dark. You don't know whether you're going to run into a pit of crocodiles or into a giant pole, or whether you're just running in circles. You can't see anything because there's nobody to tell you. It's not like free agency in the NFL, right? Where if I'm T. Higgins and I go out in the market, it's going to get reported that, hey, the Texans or the Panthers or whoever offered him, a 5-year deal worth, I don't know, I'm just making numbers up, $127 million. And so, to beat that, you're going to have, you kind of know where you're generally operating.
Yeah.
Right? Agents in that world, the contract's going to be public. So there's no sense in the agent lying to everybody and going, oh yeah, he's got a $400 million offer. And then the story comes out that he got 110. Does that make sense? I'm being hyperbolic.
No, I get it.
But you'll wreck your reputation at that point. So it's there are so many different little things that could solve some of this and calm it down, but nobody seems willing to go there.
All right.
The crazy part, and I've heard this story from multiple people up there, and somebody can eventually ask Coach about it, but there was a player that came in, this was a week before he called it quits, that said, hey, I know you're paying me this. School X is offering me $450. I need it or I'm gone. They found him the money. He got the money. He came back the next week, which was like 2 or 3 days later, and said, hey, that school has now offered me this. You either pay me or I'm gone. And he was like, see ya. And so my thing is, how the hell do you know? There's no way to tell what this kid is he actually getting this offer or not. You can just go lie.
That's my point. That's why I think there should be transparency in it. If And people are like, well, why don't you find out? If I were the people, if I wanted to control this, if I were the hand raised guy in the room, I'd be like, hey, let's start releasing contract details. Why not?
All right, I got two things. All right, one to add to this conversation. So over the course, when I was driving home the other day,
I know you heard that story too. That's why you put your head down.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's the AJ McCarron story. I had no part of that one.
Well, that was part of the deal with Quinshon Judkins at Ole Miss last year.
That was an AJ McCarron.
I mean, that
story.
was literally part of the narrative around Quinshon Judkins at Ole Miss, was that he kept renegotiating during the season.
Oh yeah.
I mean, things you can't do in the NFL. Like, you don't get to after week 9 in the NFL go, hey, I just threw for 380 and 4 touchdowns. What I'm thinking about is, like, let's redo my deal for next week.
So an SEC quarterback.
That's not how it works.
This weekend, an SEC quarterback reached out to a very reputable agent and was like, hey, I'm thinking about going in the portal. Can you help me, be my guy or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure. What? So he's like, all right. So he starts going back and forth about, what are you looking for? And then part of the conversation when you're talking to an agent, the agent's going to ask, okay, what are you making now? To see if he can get you a better deal. Player would not tell the agent that he's trying to hire what he was getting paid by the school.
Yeah.
He's trying to hire an agent.
Yep.
That's trying to would not tell the agent that he's trying to hire how much money he was making from the school.
Yeah.
And he's like, brother, it's going to be hard for me to do the job
again
if I don't know what you're currently making. How do I know if I'm getting you a better deal?
Right.
If you make everyone run the race in the pitch black dark with blindfolds on, it's probably not going to end particularly well for most of the competitors, right?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you who that is off the air, and it's going to make all the sense in the world to you.
It will not surprise me.
It will not. You'll be like, yep, knew that one. All right, second thing. I had.
All right, well, you can text me.
I'll text you.
Because now I got to know.
So the other thing I was talking to the guys, there is a group that's trying to get collective bargaining and unionizing, get it together.
Yeah.
They are attempting to do, this is where you see how you're acting right now? This is how I was acting on the phone. They have some momentum. They are attempting to collective bargain and unionize within the NCAA.
Good luck.
It's not impossible, but again, for the 878,214th time, you cannot collective bargain inside of the NCAA, because when you do that, that classifies them as employees. When they are now employees, you kill all the opportunities for every other sport, women's soccer, all that stuff. It can't be inside the NCAA. They are going to, the NCAA, in their last-ditch effort to hold on to football, is going to try to do this. You watch. Write it down. I said it on January the 6th, Monday at 3:15 Central. The NCAA, in their last-ditch effort to keep football, is going to attempt to do this. While doing it, is going to ruin every opportunity for everybody else. Write it down. They're going to try to do it. I don't think they're going to be successful.
Yeah, I don't either.
But they're going to attempt to do it. Write it down.
I mean, I'm going to
It's got enough momentum.
I'm going to attempt to be the center fielder for the Cubs this spring, but I don't like my chances.
No, I like your chances.
AJ,
thank you, AJ. That's nice of you, man.
AJ's going to attempt to beat me in golf at some time this offseason, and I don't like his chances either.
Oh, hell.
Spring training hat ready to go.
Hey, look at him.
See?
AJ got a big old bucket head.
I do have a big head. AJ believes in me. It means a lot.
I do.
Can you be my agent, AJ?
Oh, for sure.
I want more than $700,000.
Yeah, that's easy. We're getting 700 to show up.
Absolutely.
Are you going to watch the TGL tomorrow night, by the way?
Yeah, because I got to see how this thing
have you seen this, Scoops? You may even you actually may be interested in it.
The Team Golf League.
So it's the Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy thing that they came up with like a year and a half ago. They're starting it tomorrow night on ESPN at 8:00. It's really, I've seen this. It looks really cool. It is off of, they have this team golf or whatever, but they have it's a simulator, but it's built inside like a damn arena. And you hit, and then like they have a green area, sand traps and all that stuff. And wherever you hit it, the damn, whatever hole you're on, the way the green will like change shapes and shit to fit the actual green. And then like, if you hit it short, a light will come up. You hit it into the deal. You walk over next to the green complex. The green complex changes based on what the hole looks like.
See, if I could get one of those at my house, I'd get into golf.
Like, and they hit. Look, they're putting real grass.
AJ, build that into my contract with the Cubs. By the way, I'd like it.
No problem. I'm gonna get that added into mine as well.
Cool.
Spotlight comes on where your ball is on the screen, and you have to put your ball where the spotlight is to hit to the hole. And it's a normal golf hole, but they don't walk. But like, I was like, kind of takes the exercise out of golf. They literally walk from where they hit it from to the green complex.
The biggest issue I have with it is all these dudes that are on this show were the main ones bitching and complaining about the live guys. And they go off and start their own shit.
You gotta get that money, honey.
Right, just to compete. Like, it's a competition. Now, all of a sudden, they take the live model of now they have teams and shit. Hold on now. 50% of y'all were just blowing these guys up and complaining about these dudes that left for $500 million contracts, Phil Mickelson. Like, what are we talking about? And then you go off and do the same shit. That's the issue I have with it. But hey, I'm still going to watch it just because I think it's going to be fun.
But I'm still going to I think it'll be anything Tigers playing, I'm watching. But
it's interesting because the little boxes that they're teeing off from and everything are grass. And these dudes take the biggest divots in the world. Like, you can't play a full 18 hole on that one square.
Well, they showed Rory hitting out of it, I guess, the other day in a practice deal. So it's probably like the size of your desk right here. It's like a piece of sod, basically. They put it in a box. And it looks like a driving range where they take the divots and he just moves the ball around. That's how they're doing it. And they'll just replace the thing. But Jerry from Barstool or whatever, the night I came onto this somehow because I was doing the post-game show with Chase and Jeffrey and Rippy the other night before you came on. When I went to bed, when I got off YouTube, you have like suggested or whatever. I see this Jerry After Dark live. I hit on it. He had some deal where he had to make a hole-in-one on some hole, but he was down.
Did he ever achieve it?
No, he hit all night long. He did not get a deal. Like, hey, that should be a punishment for me next year if I lose the deal. Is have to go to the golf simulator and can't leave until I get a hole-in-one.
There's one of those in town, right?
Yeah, right here at Southern Coop. There's two of them.
Okay.
It's funny. I hit one on the simulator like a week or two ago, and Avery Reed, the fitter that I was seeing over in Fairhope, was like, dude, I've never seen anybody make it. I can't remember. I think we were hitting a 9 from like 160 or something like that, and it landed and just rolled right in. And I was like, holy shit, that just went in. He was like, oh my God, it did.
That would be
That's the first one I've ever had.
A good punishment for you to try to get a hole-in-one. You can't leave until you get a hole-in-one. Simulator.
I mean, how many years would that take?
I mean, look, your golf swing can't be worse than Jerry's was. I mean,
oof.
It was bad.
Mine's pretty rough.
I would love to see the amount of blisters that would be on Scoop's hand.
He was bleeding. He had 2 gloves on. He just had all the skin was off his hands and everything else.
Oh God.
I haven't played. I haven't picked up a club since the last time I did that charity
thing.
So was that 2 years?
Before we started our show. It's been longer now.
I haven't even played putt-putt in 2 years.
Cole hopped up the screen. He said that so he already did a stream like at one point in time for something. He did this. It took him 2,627 strokes to do it the first time.
So he finally did it?
No, he's done it twice. He did not do it the other night.
Yeah, he did it at the TGL's facility on this one.
Yeah. And this one he did. He just did a normal simulator. It took him 2,600 shots to get a hole-in-one.
Yeah, your hands would be a little rough after that.
that's a curse. The other one I saw, I randomly started following on it was a fantasy football punishment. a guy had to go to Jason Aldean's.
I saw that.
And he had a shot.
10 a.m. until 3 a.m. And a shot took off an hour. A beer took off 30 minutes.
Yes. And then and he was like 12 or 15 shots in. He just stayed. He crushed it. But Scoops, before we get out of here, I got life advice real quick, and then we're going to get out of here.
All right. Life advice is presented by our friend Cole Walters. State Farm Insurance. Cole, licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, and pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. Contact Cole at 706-525-7850. You can also find Cole at ColeWaltersInsurance.com.
AJ's going to love this one. Life advice today goes out to Tyreek Hill. What do you do? When you are you're a captain of a team, and don't say things when you had a bad day, bad year. Don't make emotional decisions and say things to the press because you're mad and upset. You got to go with a clear head. It goes to coaches too. Don't ever go to a press conference pissed off. Got to have a few minutes to clear the mind before you say something stupid. He basically said in a press conference that he's out. He didn't want, you hadn't seen this?
No.
Yeah. After the game yesterday I'm out. He's a competitive person. It's the first year he hasn't, made the playoffs. Said that he's out. And here's the thing: is he's the captain. He was a captain of this team. He refused to go in the game. I think it was the last two drives, basically the fourth quarter. Non-injury, just did not go in the game, and they had a chance to win the game. He just refused to go in. McDaniel was asked about it after the post game and said that he was unaware of any new injury when he found out about it, and he had to coach the players he had. Didn't have time to deal with it, which I understand that.
Sure.
But here's the thing: is that one is a major problem. If you're in the Miami Dolphins organization, I don't care how good he is, he has to go. I wouldn't let him back in the building. I would release him. I wouldn't let him back in the building. That's called addition by subtraction. You can't, right, wrong, or indifferent. You can't. I've been a part of these decisions before. Some of them are very hard to explain. Some of you don't ever explain to fans. But sometimes you have to make personnel decisions that aren't popular. One, with fans. Two, with even sometimes it's not popular with your own team, but you have to do what's better for the team moving forward. I think Scoops knows which one I'm referring to. But there are things that happen that don't get out there, but things like this, you can't sacrifice the entire team because of somebody's selfish actions. I don't give a shit how good he is, because he is an immense talent. He is a ball playing Nancy. I don't care. There's a 0.0% chance the guy that's wearing a C on the chest refuses to go in the game and then publicly goes out and says he's out in the post game. I don't give a shit if you got 2 years, 3 years, 5 years on your contract. We'll release you. If you don't want
I ain't releasing him. I'm trading his ass to the worst possible location you could go to.
Yeah, even better. Trade him to freaking.
So, I don't care if I only get a third and a fifth. We're getting something for him, but I'm trading his ass. And hopefully you didn't sign a bad contract as an organization where he has no trade clause in it, like Sean or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm trading him if he doesn't have that to another bad organization.
Yeah. He's out of here. I'm getting that's just I think too many times. I always go back to this. It's one of my favorite things that Rich Rod always says, and it's true, but he's always said it. He says, never sacrifice the culture. You have to make that involves making tough decisions. I mean, hell, when in the middle, when we were in the middle of our title run with AJ, we had to bench somebody for a full game that was one of our better players, but it had to be done. And you don't go out publicly and say why you're benching somebody. A lot of times the fans never know. Sometimes players don't play and the fans don't know, and you get criticized for not playing them, and you may blow it off as an injury or whatever you blow it off as. But and you take the bullets as a staff and as a coaching staff, you take the bullets, you take the heat from the fans. There's been some personnel decisions I've been a part of that we're still taking heat on all these years later. But sometimes things happen for a reason, and it doesn't need to be aired out in public. But when you're a captain of a team and you act like this, you got to go. I don't give a shit how good you are. You got to go, because that's not Either he's got to go or they got to redo everything because you're never going to win. You're never going to win with guys like this, and you're just never going to win the big one. You may win to get there, but you're never going to have a championship team culture with guys like this on your team. There you go.
Yeah.
Scoops, guess what?
That's it. That's all you got.
Scoops, we've been brought to you by our good friends at PTG Outdoors. And you know what, Scoops? If Miami has to cut Tyreek and they're looking for another receiver, they need to check out the Garmin options. They can find all kinds of things with the Garmin options at PTG Outdoors, from cycling and running watches to wide receivers.
Well,
the Tax Indoor Cycling. Garmin brings innovation to your fitness journey. You can track health metrics, explore maps, and enjoy GPS precision for cycling, golf, and outdoor adventures. Dive deeper with swim tracking, train smarter with dog tracking tools, and monitor performance on land and water. Explore Garmin's range, including smartwatches, scales, and advanced off-road instruments, available now at ptgoutdoors.com. Scoops, in the event that they pack up Tyreek and they send his ass shopping, you know what they can put him in? They can put him in a Kia from Kia of Meridian. Tyreek, it's a new year. You can make a new resolution that you can keep this time. You can drive away in a brand new Kia from Kia of Meridian. They are kicking off 2025 with unbeatable deals starting right now. Get interest rates as low as 0% on select models and up to $7,500 off in rebates on select vehicles. The perfect time of the year to drive a new Kia and save big. Save big, Miami, on that buyout that you're going to pay when you release Tyreek. Save big. Come see Kia Meridian today. These deals won't last long, so start your year off right. Cut Tyreek and go to the new Kia of Meridian and call them at 601-483-6444. That's pretty good. That was pretty good.
It was interesting.
It was interesting.
For sure.
You'll remember that ad read, though.
I'll remember the
Tyreek going to give him a Kia.
It was
Meridian.
unique. It was a unique ad read.
There you go.
We've been brought to you by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams, natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push your limits and achieve all of your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Speaking of Instagram, just in case, speaking of Instagram, just in case, AJ, just in case January 19th comes and they kick us all and they take the old TikToker away from everything, make sure you go follow McCready and Siskey on Instagram. We'll be doing the lives. We'll have to do the lives on Instagram. We'll have to move our platform there if they decide to shut us down on TikTok on January 19th. So we'll figure out. I think they're having a Supreme Court hearing on January the 10th. So big day for McCready and Siskey on January the 10th. Let's go, TikTok. We need to keep you around.
They're not going to cancel TikTok.
Dude, they're having a Supreme Court hearing.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
I didn't find it. Trump has asked them to delay it. Postpone it. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's go. Hey, we turn the page, man. Let's go.
So Trump's got Supreme Court thing and his own sentencing thing on Friday. Is that right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Is he getting sentenced?
So yeah, supposedly that.
But I hope they do, just so he can fucking pardon himself.
That would be great. What if he gets house arrest?
Still constitutionally after today, because today the vote was certified. Constitutionally, he doesn't have to be at the Capitol. He becomes president at noon 2 weeks from today.
I
mean, that's how it works. I mean, like Lyndon Johnson took the oath on a jet. You don't have to take the oath at the Capitol for it to be
wherever you're
official.
at.
You could take the oath from the 16th hole
at house arrest. What
wherever.
That would have been.
I'll tell you what, boys, that is going to be the biggest, and I mean biggest, inauguration in the history of this country. The crowd that's going to be there, I bet it is unlike anything we've ever seen before.
I feel for all the people in charge of security.
Oh,
boy.
Oh,
those are
shit.
Have you ever been to inauguration?
No.
So I got to go to.
Did you really?
Yeah. So my brother-in-law.
Oh yeah.
So
did you go to the one in 16?
No, I went to the only one I've been to. I went to Bush's second, the 2004 one.
Okay.
The one Bush's second one.
That was a little understated, right? Because it wasn't usually when they take the oath for the first time is when they have the big.
Yeah. There was still a gazillion people there, but the security, I guess that's what I was saying is
Yeah.
this was in 2004. You're not even talking about today. The security measures.
Did he do it out on the Capitol steps and
Yeah.
stuff?
But we were on the very front row. We were not. So actually my mother-in-law, before she passed, she was actually up on the stage. We were on the ground. Like you don't realize, like they're way up there. Like you're way below them.
Yeah.
We were on the first, maybe the second row. We were right at the very front. But so to get to the front, the security we had to go through to get there was crazy.
I'm sure.
All right. But when you walk, like you get off they have a subway system there or whatever. When you get off and you start walking that way, they having all of the amount of, like they had the manhole covers. They had them all like locked down.
Yeah.
Like to see, I mean, they did not spare anything, obviously. But when you're walking down the street and the manhole covers are down with people next to the manhole covers, I mean, how bad, how crazy is it going to be this time? You know what I'm saying? Like if it was like that in 2004, which was just a second term deal, like what's it going to be like this time? It'll be.
That was pretty fresh after 9/11.
We have somebody we know going, by the way.
Yeah, Hogan will be there.
Well, no, Cole.
Oh, is Cole going?
Yeah, Cole's brother works.
Okay.
He's involved. He's on the campaign.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh yeah, Cole's giving me all the updates.
How about that?
Yeah, Cole and Hogan. We had an inside track, man.
Like, I wonder. I bet, like, I bet a drone can't be within 200 miles. I bet it's some crazy airspace. Got to be, right?
What if the aliens come down right in the middle of the inauguration to announce their presence?
They could. They're here already.
Fuck it. It ain't nothing surprised me yet. So
I tell you what, I bet there's nobody that ever went to Fort Bragg within 5 miles of that bad boy. I bet if you went to Fort Bragg, you're not allowed around that place.
That's all right. Last thing.
Wait, what? We're here now.
What did you make of the Vegas thing? What's your sort of where are your thoughts?
Where's my 10 full hat?
No, just in general.
My 10 full hat says
I'm definitely about to get a strike, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a strike. Does it even matter if we're gonna be off here?
Tell TikTok
hey, TikTok, I gotta go because AJ said something about this the other day. They can't hear AJ. That's why we haven't get a strike. Okay. TikTok, I gotta go. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later. So I don't get a strike. If you want to see the rest of it, come to MPW Digital. All right. So AJ got a strike the other day on a live. We were talking about this. AJ he got a strike on TikTok for saying he was spreading misinformation or something. he got struck.
And right. Speaking facts.
All right. So I think there's just too much connection for something not to be up. I don't know how they were involved together. I don't know if it was a together thing or whatever. But when everybody went to Fort Bragg and they all had the same background and all that stuff, like there's just something there. Like
too much coincidence to be a coincidence.
Right? And then an Elon Musk generated Cybertruck in front of the Trump. Come on, dog. I mean, like,
well, and then
you're on leave, like he's in the military,
and they reported that he shot himself before it did.
But you can't hear a shot.
And then the video makes it look like there was a new angle that got released from one of the security cameras or whatnot, where it looks like he's moving at the time of the explosion. But
I don't understand the fireworks. Like, what did he think he was going to shoot a Roman candle and bust out and bring down Trump Tower with a Roman candle?
I do think this. I do think sometimes you have to be careful that you at least entertain the idea that this is Occam's razor and that this is not tinfoil. That this was a guy that was losing it. His wife had left him. He was going through all sorts of personal stuff, and that he was not of sound mind, right? I mean, that I do think you have to at least consider the possibility that the connection was a coincidence and it just happened. Like, I know that he wrote the email to, was it Sean Ryan show?
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
Because the email screenshot is in the form of it's sending, not sent. Because it had red squiggly lines on it. with the spell checks, which is a screenshot taken from the side of its sending.
Oh,
look at AJ.
Which is another weird thing, right? I mean, that's super weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't send you an email from somebody where they misspelled something wrong and it shows the red squiggly line, and the screenshot they had was from that.
Oh,
interesting.
Oh, AJ.
And that's weird too.
Oh, AJ. You just went full tinfoil hat. All right,
I'm just saying it's odd.
All right, what about the same?
The fact that they're both electric trucks was odd. Even the Ford in New Orleans was a Ford Lightning.
Well, and they both rented those trucks from the same, like, kind of. It wasn't like
it might as well be Enterprise.
It wasn't like Avis or Enterprise or something. It was some company
Turo
that I'd never really heard of. I was like, well, I mean, but is it possible that it's all a coincidence? I mean, I think it's possible. Now, you could say it's unlikely, and I wouldn't really argue. But
I always go back to the Fort Bragg thing.
My thing is a car bomb inside of a armored truck, a steel truck.
Yeah,
like,
he wasn't.
If you want to do destruction, that ain't the car you pick.
Well, and that's where I start going down the maybe this was a guy that just had lost it, because like everyone's like, well, if he were a trained, soldier, he would have known to put this together and this and this, and it's like, yeah, but
I mean, he was a trained soldier,
but you're assuming that. You're assuming that he was of sound mind if he was putting together an explosive that would do the most damage, as opposed to maybe he had just lost it. Like maybe he just completely gone off the reservation and his wife had left him. And I mean, it's why, like, full circle on conspiracy theories, a lot of the people who will vehemently argue that Oswald acted alone back in '63 will tell you that the final straw was the night before Marina would not let him be with her and the child. That she was like, nope, you're out. We're done. And that was the final snap for him. So I don't know.
You're saying all good conspiracy theories are caused by women? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I mean,
it's all your fault.
I mean, it's powerful.
It's undefeated, untied, unscored upon.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's, again, I wouldn't want to be. I would suspect that the people who are in charge of the security in and around the inauguration have basically said goodbye to their family for the next 2 weeks.
Dude.
You've got to cross every T, dot every I. You got to be. I would be like, is there any way, if I were in charge of his security, is there any way we can do this in not an open setting?
I get it.
100%.
Is there any way we can just do this in a hotel room? I mean, let's lock this thing down. I mean,
I wouldn't step outside. I wouldn't have the parade. I wouldn't do any of that shit.
Is he going to do the parade?
I'm sure.
God, I hope he don't get out like he did last time.
He's got a huge rally planned for the 19th. A big rally in D.C. I want to say, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I want to say it's the arena where the Wizards play, and where I think it's the Capitals. Is that the name of the hockey team they play? It's right there in downtown D.C. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's where he has a big rally planned for the 19th, which is something that most of the times incoming presidents don't do.
Yeah, it says Trump rally to host victory rally in Washington, D.C. day before his inauguration.
Right. Does it say where?
That's a YouTube video. I was just clicking.
Oh, okay. I think it's the arena where the NBA and NHL
Washington Arena day before the inauguration.
Yeah.
It says Washington Arena. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's very, there's just too many coincidences this quick after a issue. You know what I'm saying? Like usually you hear of stuff as facts come out. There's just too many dots that connect to not be something. And look,
and this is where, right, we talked about this. This is where the public trust has been lost.
That's my problem, right?
the public trust has been lost. So
my common sense says I'm being stupid. My common sense.
Sure.
This guys, no, it's not. It's whatever, right? But this is my Tyler Siskey's public trust. Not anybody else's. Don't want to put this on anybody else.
Okay.
My public trust is so far gone and everything that I don't believe anything anymore. I don't believe anything. I mean, like literally every single thing that I've been told by media, everything that I've been told by the government,
it's more than fair.
I immediately question.
It's absolutely justified. That I don't think that makes you conspiratorial. I don't think it makes you crazy.
That's where it takes me.
Right, but what's my point though is that this is the problem. It's literally the boy that cried wolf, right?
Yeah.
But I think that this society has gone another way. I mean, tell me if y'all agree, but I feel like a couple years ago, just say 2016 especially, his first go-round, people that had a different view and didn't believe and trust everything the government said was considered, a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's gone the opposite to where it's, oh, you're speaking the truth, and you're probably right. Like, and what they're telling us is probably not right, and it's probably not the truth. Like, I feel like society is starting to shift.
Yeah,
the complete opposite of what the view was back during that time.
You go back to 2020 when,
oh yeah,
the whole COVID thing first hit. I don't know about you guys. I'm embarrassed to admit this now, but my initial reaction was, yeah, we've got to do what it takes to make sure this thing doesn't spread and kill. I remember driving up to Fayetteville to pick up Campbell, and I listened to a podcast. It was, I think it may have been Rogan, and he had that professor from Minnesota on who sounded completely credible, and it was scary. I mean, I can remember like not wanting to, being really careful about touching stuff and all that, and then. A couple months later, all the protests happened after the George Floyd thing, and you're like watching 100,000 people march the streets, and nobody's saying anything about no, this is a health hazard, and you're like, well, hold up, hand raise. Are people who are having a political protest immune? Is the virus? Yeah. Does the virus give you a break if they think that you're protesting something? How's that work? Because if this were as scary as you all have been telling us it is, you'd be saying, hey, listen, I know you're upset, but you guys cannot congregate like this. You just can't. And when that happened, I was like, oh, that's no. It's why I said this on the morning show today. I've been watching the Aaron Rodgers Enigma documentary on Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers. Like, you can say Aaron Rodgers is crazy. He's kind of out there, whatever. It's fine. I'm not saying he is or isn't. It's fine.
He's different.
Okay.
He's different. We'll say that.
But where did the beating start on Aaron Rodgers?
Oh,
the beating started on the vaccination.
He was immunized.
We didn't. Nobody was ever really all that critical of Aaron Rodgers before that. When he went to Costa Rica and did the thing or whatever, that's fine. But where did he get beat up? He got beat up for the COVID thing. And you look back 4 years later, and I said this morning on MPW. He was right.
AJ, did you feel pressure being an NFL player during COVID to take the vaccine?
Oh, dude. It was segregation all over again. It was awful by the fucking league. Awful the way they handled the whole situation. Yeah. Listen, if you weren't vaccinated, you couldn't eat in the same lunchroom as everybody else. You couldn't be in the building the same time as everybody else. You had to be totally separated. Couldn't go to meetings. You could only Zoom meet. You couldn't go work out when the rest of the team was there. You literally could not be a part of the team until you went to practice. Then you could go sweat and touch and bang and everything on teammates and hit and practice, do whatever you had to do. But as soon as practice ended, you went back to segregation. It was the stupidest shit in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid.
Did you feel like that people who did in the NFL, players who were not elite, like let's take Aaron Rodgers out because he's an elite player, right? But guys that are just roster guys, right? Guys that are making the NFL minimum, whatever, right? Did you feel like
They were forced.
do you think that you feel like they were cut and treated differently if they didn't participate in that?
Oh, 100%. Hell, in what world would it be fun? And Ron Rivera, he literally came out and said, we should just cut these stupid son of a bitches if they don't get the vaccine. This is a head coach of who? The Carolina Panthers or whoever he was, the Commanders at the time, whoever it was.
Yeah, it was Commanders.
Yeah, but he comes out and straight out and just says, hey, if they don't get it, they should be cut. I'm not going to sign free agents. The first question you got asked when you were a free agent that year, are you vaccinated or not? They didn't give a shit if you could play, nothing. The first question you got asked was, were you vaccinated or not? All types of organizations were not signing guys unless they were vaccinated. That's how fucking crazy it was. It didn't matter. They were signing dudes that were vaccinated that couldn't fucking play dead in a play. That the role was, hey, you just lay there and play dead. They couldn't do that. Like, they were literally signing those guys before they signed dudes that they knew could play because they weren't vaccinated. It was the stupidest, some of the wildest shit I've ever been a part of.
It's one of the things that don't get me wrong, I've never really belonged in media. Like I've always been an outsider.
You say that.
No. I am. I don't think like a lot of media people. I don't believe the stuff that a lot of media people, but I always kind of got along. In the last 4 years, the 2 or 3 things that really bothered me is the labeling of Rodgers. I don't know Aaron Rodgers. Beats me. He might be.
He's a great dude.
Might be a great dude. Might be a bad. I don't know him. Seems like a good dude. I've enjoyed the documentary. I don't mind eccentric. If you think going to Costa Rica and doing that stuff puts you in a better headspace, then it probably does. And you're not hurting me any by going. It didn't mean no harm. Right? I mean, that's where I'm pretty liberal. Like, okay. Like that's the whole people try to legislate what people do in their own bedrooms and stuff. It doesn't affect me any. I don't care. Do what you want to do. I mean, no, I'm totally serious.
I know. I'm just.
And
smiling.
so, but like the 2 of the people that really had their reputations drugged through the mud were Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving. They were fucking right. Kyrie Irving did not. Look at Kyrie Irving. Look at him.
He's still battling it.
He's still paying for it from a reputation standpoint. Kyrie Irving, look at him. What's he got, like 6% body fat, maybe 4%? I don't know. Kyrie Irving's healthy as a horse. He's in his 30s. He's an elite athlete. He can do things on a basketball court. Might have the best ball handler in the history of the NBA. He didn't need the vaccine. We ruined his reputation. Oh, he's a bad team player. No, he said he didn't want to put that in his body, that he didn't need it.
32.
So then he was 28. I mean, can we run down the list real quick? Because we need to have like a moment of silence for them. In hindsight, let's have a moment of silence for all of the healthy, professional 28-year-old athletes who died from COVID. Let's list them all. I'll go first. No one. No one. So 4 years later, like Dennis Dodd, that dumbass, wrote the thing, if they play a football season, it's like 40 something, whatever the numbers of college players are going to die. What's he doing? Oh, yeah.
He sent me something too. I got to say something when he gets
They
done.
didn't let Novak Djokovic. Have you ever looked at Novak Djokovic? Is one of those dudes that he plays tennis and like after the game, after the match is over, he changes his shirt because he puts on a dry shirt for the ceremony or whatever. Dude takes off his shirt, and even like AJ, who's a professional athlete, looks at him and goes, damn, I wish I could look like that just one time. I mean, dude is like,
maybe not AJ. If the Novak Djokovic's of the world and the Kyrie Irvings of the world were dying from COVID,
You wouldn't have had to tell anybody to lock down or to wear a stupid mask. Like, I'm in the airport the other day, and I'm walking down the thing, and all these people in Atlanta got the mask on, and I'm like, they're one of two things. You're either broken, which is the media's fault, or they're insane. Got hair, looks like Joker's over there. I'm like, what are you? You're just wanting to declare that, and that's fine. Like, if that makes you happy to declare that you're on that team and that you're going to double mask and stuff, cool. I always want to just like break into a coughing fit around them just for fun. But the broken people, and you know who I'm talking about, the ones that are scared 4 years later, I mean, that's totally on our field. And it's on the government and all of these people that pulled this stunt. But like, I go back to the Rodgers thing. Aaron Rodgers didn't need the why is that still something? Rodgers, who declined to be vaccinated. Why don't we say Rodgers, who was smart enough not to get vaccinated? They made Aaron Rodgers, who at the time was like the NFL MVP. They made Aaron Rodgers sit in his car.
Two-time COVID MVP.
He had to sit in his car outside of Lambeau and wait for the text to say that he could come in. Because if he came in before the workday started, well, everybody was going to die. But if we waited till 10 o'clock when the vaccine took its lunch hour, he could come in and they could run plays.
I'll tell you how crazy it was. I forgot this part. We had trackers that we had to wear. The NFL came in and put cameras throughout the building of the facility, cameras up everywhere. And you had to have your tracker on you at all times. And they had somebody that watched the film and would track your whereabouts throughout the day. If you took your tracker off, out of your pocket, put in your locker, and it sat there for a period of time, guess what? You got a FedEx envelope a couple days later in your locker. Y'all know what a FedEx envelope means?
Means you get fined.
Package? Fined. You'd get fined out of nowhere.
What was the fine?
Shit. I can't remember. But, you had guys, there was somebody during that time that said, I ain't wearing the damn tracker, and they just kept getting fined. Hell, it might have been Edelman. It was somebody big that said, find me. You're not going to track me. Like, they were complaining about, like, privacy, which I understood. But they literally tracked every movement of yours when you were at the facility.
Did you get fined?
I don't think so. I had somebody that went and got my tracker. Like, I didn't wear that stupid shit. And I like, take care of the equipment guys or something. Like, hey, just take my tracker every once in a while and walk around the building with that stupid shit and then put it back in my locker. I ain't wearing that stupid shit. Like, you ain't tracking me all day.
Hey, by the way, got a text message.
Novak Djokovic.
Got a text message.
Novak Djokovic didn't get to play and didn't get to participate in like several, including one in America. He didn't get to play in the U.S. Open because of what? Theater? Because it wasn't real and nobody's. I'm gonna tell you.
This is when I knew it was full of shit. Is when Nancy Pelosi took her ass down to Chinatown and said, there's nothing wrong with this virus. Everybody come on down. Hey, I'm like, oh, hell.
That's Neal's girl.
She had a fall, man. She's trying to bounce back.
Trying to bounce back.
Just trying to serve the people of San Francisco.
And then a week later was like, Trump led us all down the wrong path. I'm like, shit, you were just outside telling everybody to come visit.
All right, so got a text message. It said, that says, with Trump, the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality is about 6 to 8 months.
My thing is, you can say, he brings out conspiracy theories.
No, it's saying that
everything he's going
to saying that in about 6 to 8 months, you'll know the difference between what's a conspiracy theory. He's going.
He's going to, I bet if he gets his cabinet, they're going to release some shit, especially his guy for the FBI. But he's all for it. which I love. I'm so jacked for that shit. It's like I'm going to play for a national championship again.
Do you believe that we had an attempt on the president-elect's life in July? Whatever. Just woo.
We still don't know shit about that.
Thing about that.
On both of them, we still don't know shit about that. We know more about 9/11 than we do that.
We know more about the guy. We know more about what happened in New Orleans 2 days ago than we know about that.
Yeah.
Disappeared. It's been
7 months.
No,
6 months.
It'll be 6 months in a week. We're not even 6 months. We're not even half a year removed from it. It's like it didn't happen.
Like it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. We know nothing about his parents. We know nothing about anything. All that we know is like he was in it when they went to the house. There was no silverware in the house. There was like weird stuff, like just weird. Just the whole thing's. No one's. Hey, just gone. My field. No interest in it. Nope. No interest.
But we are interested in Fox Sports lawsuit. Appreciate you there, Seth. Yes, we have seen the Fox Sports lawsuit.
Yeah, I got lots of questions. But
AJ, have you seen the Fox Sports lawsuit?
Yeah. This hairdresser. I mean, it's definitely interesting to read the full report.
1.5 million.
Then Emmanuel Acho deletes his video off of his IG or social media of praising Joy Taylor and how hard of a worker she was and everything. Yeah. Like that video got deleted quick.
Bro.
It was like, I don't know. Does anybody know if she showed up for her show today? I know Emmanuel Acho showed up.
I would imagine not. I think that would probably be a good day to take a vacation. Good day to take a vacation. By the way, so I went on. We had a little vacation this past week, right?
Yep.
I had everybody in my crew was sick except for me, Aaron, and Knox. Now Knox is sick now, but so Jackson and Brock both had flu and pneumonia, and were just coughing like I'm talking about like they just came straight from Wuhan, like they took a flight from Wuhan and came to Orlando. And so my wife, like at least 50 times would go, "Can you get like the difference between Florida and everywhere else?" Is like they were like just coughing up a spleen and nobody was reacting, right? And so have you been to Universal before?
Yeah.
All right. So you have the Harry Potter stuff in the back.
Yeah.
So just saying, okay, I'm just being a very observant person here. Okay. So nobody take this personal. I'm going to tell y'all, don't take this personal. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, they're taking it personal.
I'm just going to be a very observant person here.
Okay.
The closer, like, so, Harry Potter's in the back, right? It's in the very back of both parks.
Okay. Keep going.
And the closer you got, the further away from the entrance and the closer you got to Harry Potter, the more masks that started showing up. Okay. The more people with masks started, the people that were wearing masks, there were more of them in that area. Okay. All right.
And your kids are
dude, they're just they're just coughing up the spleen. But just don't, like I said, don't take it personal. I'm just making it was just a casual observation.
Yeah.
That the hair color started changing a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The hair color, there's a high correlation with hair color and mask wearing.
Well, the mask thing again, there's two types of people that still wear the mask. The people that are broken and the people that are declaring their team. So it's like the same people that wear like a Cowboys jersey.
Yeah,
you're just announcing to the world.
The people riding in the car by themselves with two masks on.
And they're
broken.
Broken.
So we went to go. I went to go spend $800.
That's like the lady. Not to interrupt you. There's a lady on my plane, and she's double masked on the plane. But when the snack comes,
she's got it down.
The masks are gone, and she's taking her time with her little bag of like trail mix or whatever we got. No, it was Sun Chips. Sun Chips. She's taking her time eating a bag of Sun Chips. I'm like, so hold up. You're terrified to be on this plane with all these strange people so much that you will wear two masks, but you'll take 20 minutes and enjoy your bag of Sun Chips and your Coca-Cola, which is fine, by the way. I mean, whatever. Sun Chips are good. Fine. Have some Sun Chips. I'm cool. But if you're not really scared, you're admitting that this is a joke. Like because the broken people, they don't. There's no. I mean, there's that. Like, you see the guy that, like, he's got on the M40 or whatever it's called, the one that's like, this is the real deal. That thing, that flight from push off to off the plane, that mask is not budging. He's not eating sun chips.
He's broken.
But at least with them, you're like, hey,
he's committed to it.
Dude's committed. I mean, he's in.
Yeah.
It's not theater. Or it might be theater, but you're all the way in on the theater. The people I can't stand, I have no sympathy for them at all, are the people that are pulling off the whole, we should be so taking this thing so seriously because you never know which variant's out there and stuff. And all that's going on. And but you're going to take 20 minutes off for your sun chips. So you're admitting right now out loud that you either believe that there's some virus out there that's going to give you a chip break, or that this is total theater. And I don't the theater people, I don't respect them on any level.
Scoops, you have pissed somebody off on my live. Said, I was at the ER the other night. All doctors and nurses had masks on. Guess you guys know better.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're working in a medical setting.
Oh, yeah, you're on live right now? You haven't got a strike yet?
No.
Oh, how about this? That means we're telling the truth.
Yeah.
All right, so
go ahead.
I said, well, when I got back to, so if you've ever been to Harry Potter Land and you got kids, you got to go buy these wands, right? And so you got to spend like $1 gazillion on this little plastic wand.
Yeah.
So I agreed before. I just being a dad. Okay, cool. We're going to go get them. All right. So we go in there, and this place, Neal, this room is smaller than, it's a small ass room.
Yeah.
And there's 800,000 people in this thing.
Yep.
Well, and they have the wands in certain sections, and the one that one of my sons wanted that had the bad cough was in a section was just crowded with people. And at the front of the line, was a family that was rolling like 6 deep. And they were all masked up, right?
Yep.
Dude, we're sitting back there. He's like looking. He's like, I think I want that one. And we're like, from here to the rain sign, He's like, look, I think I want that one. I think I want that one. And all of a sudden, he starts having a fit, like, brother. It looked like Moses parted the Red Sea, boss. It was like, woo. The people parted. He went right over there and grabbed it. I was like, got it, baby. Went right there and grabbed it when he wanted. We got the checkout line. I was like, let's go. So yeah, that was the. And just look, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just being observant. The closer you got to Harry Potter Land,
just an observation.
That's where kind of the mask people kind of corrugated for the whole trip in the park. I bet that got her fired up too.
If those people invited you to their party, you would come up with an excuse.
Oh yeah, y'all have really pissed this one poor guy off. I mean, he's
just
his Monday.
The people at Harry Potter must have been the same people that were at the hospital. They must.
It's probably this guy. It sounds like like a Marlin would be there. Marlin Bub. Yeah, I mean the longest, just useless name ever. Marlin Bub Rowe Jr. I don't know where the hell he's from, but. He's pissed. He is not happy right now.
Sorry, bub.
I appreciate you listening there, Marlon.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, Marlon. Marlon clicked in. Marlon, go ahead and give it a like while you're at it, bud.
Yeah, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, too, while you're at it. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Follow, like, subscribe. Come on over to MPW.
All right. We've got a show tomorrow. I have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about after this, but we have a show tomorrow. One show tomorrow, no show Thursday. Tyler's going to be out of town. But we'll
not wearing a mask.
We'll be with you tomorrow again. Thanks as always to AJ McCarron for his time. Thanks to everybody in the stream. Appreciate you being with us. Until tomorrow, take care.
Bye-bye.